Hello, friends. This is Adrienne from Spanish by the Book here, and it's February, so it's a great time to talk about love and to learn about love as you learn Spanish. You're not just learning the language just so you can learn language. You're learning the language so you can express your feelings and your emotions in your language learning group. And so this month, a great book to read would be How Do I Love You? Como te amo? You say, Adrienne, I don't read in Spanish. I don't speak Spanish. How am I going to do this? Well, what we do at Spanish by the Book is we lift and load the language out of bilingual children's books and into your speaking vocabulary by first mastering the book in English. Yes, just read the book in English in your learning community, whether it's your family or amongst your children or whoever it is in your language group. Just master the book. Read it in English and get to know the story and talk about it outside of the book. Read outside the book. And then you're going to mix for a little while and you're going to pick key phrases, and the next time you read it in English, you're just going to layer a Spanish word on top of it. You're going to just say a word twice, once in English and once in Spanish, or maybe the third time you read it, you're going to take out the English and put in the Spanish, and you're going to mix for a while. And then after you've mastered the book and you've mixed in some English for a little while, then you're going to switch and you're just going to begin to start reading the Spanish more and add in maybe a few English words to support your comprehension, because you already know the story in English because we did that in the master stage, and you've already learned the words and phrases in little bits at a time because you did that in the mix stage. And so then the switch stage, you begin to read it in Spanish, and nobody cares about your pronunciation. We're not worried about it. Just say the words. You'll get better at it, and your learners will get better at it, and the vocabulary from the stories you read will become part of your speaking vocabulary in your language group, and you'll start using those words in different places. I wonder what would happen if you just made that. That's what we're going to do this year. We're going to read this book in February. And then you find out from Spanish by the Book that, maybe we're going to read this one in March. And then we're going to read this one in April. What would happen if you just made it your point to just add a whole nother use of vocabulary, a whole nother story, a whole nother set of words to your vocabulary every single month? Would those words start popping up again and again in different places? Would you be able to use the phrases and the sentence starters and see that vocabulary in different places? Yes, you would. You absolutely would. And before you know it, you're speaking Spanish. Your language is rich with the stories, and you're teaching your children. You're teaching the people in your language group. Spanish can happen anytime you have time. And you need to be reading aloud in English anyway. You need to be building literacy anyway. You're building biliteracy. You're building a speaking and listening vocabulary in English and in Spanish for yourself and anyone in your learning community. If you want to learn how to do this, if you want sentence starters to help you with this, and activities and links to other resources to help you do that master, mix, and switch step, then send me an email at spanishbythebook@gmail.com so we can lift and load the language out of our books and into your brain. Ciao.